commentary for the finale of Season 1 of MMS and the Brazilian Grand Prix, presented to you by James and Seresnia.
Hello and welcome everybody to the finale of MMS Season 1. Yes, it's finally here, and what a showdown we have in store. With neither championship yet sealed, everything has culminated into a tense 28 laps around the spectacular Interlagos circuit, which has hosted many incredible title deciders in itself. Interlagos, more formally known as the Autodromo José Carlos Pache, is located in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and combines ample elevation into an anti-clockwise 4.3-kilometer layout. And to make matters even more dramatic, the ominous clouds above look certain to drench the circuit later on. So make sure you stay tuned in the entire race as we go down to Milos, who has the grid.
Right, the grid order here. On pole position we have Louis Zech, who's replacing the excluded Michael Torres. And can I just point out, this man has driven only in 2 races and managed to score a first pole position for the BAR team. That is truly and all amazing. Right behind him, and literally right behind him, is Samuel Guarin, who was 37 thousandths off of the pole position time of Louis Zech, which is very close. Great job from the Swede, who is fighting for the title. P3 is Thomas Matthews, very close as well, that time 73 thousandths off the pole time. Then we have 2 good in P4, Jankowski P5, Stoffel in P6, Curtis P7, Smith P8, Silver P9, Kyoto P10, P11, it's following X7, it's Coda, it's Chateau, 19, Martins, Allison, Portugal, James, 22nd, Agnes is either Paddington, lovely. So yeah.
Alright, 5 lights will be coming on very shortly, we'll be underway very shortly. Just as we're getting ready to go, the rain has begun to fall as the 5 lights begin to illuminate. All 5 lights are on here in Brazil. Now we are underway with a pretty good start from Louis Zech on pole, but it looked like Braden got an excellent start, and he has. Braden is into the lead as he moves across. Oh, there's a massive flip there. That's Thomas McHugh, championship contender. Thomas McHugh's not going to win this championship. He just had a massive crash at the first corner. His car flipping over. There's a rear wing gone on. Is that Kubio Jankowski?
Yeah, that's
a rear wing? It is! Kubio's rear wing is gone. Advantage Samuel Gradin. All of a sudden, so absolute chaos at the start in the middle of the spray. It's crazy stuff. McHugh flipping at turn 1. Jankowski's lost his rear wing. And let's have a replay of this. So we see ahead, Gradin takes the lead, and Thomas McHugh gets chopped over by Alex Toogood. McHugh does nothing wrong, and Smith ramming into the back of Kubio Jankowski. So Smith's also lost his front wing. So a double disaster for McLaren and a double disaster for the championship contenders. And what better time for Samuel Gradin to take the lead of a race? Unbelievable scenes at turn 1. It's the wet weather, it's what we were expecting, and I mean, this is the result. So now, Kubio, McHugh and Smith have to drive around without front or rear wings, depending on who they are. There's a car running off wide. That was John Voda there, as Valyak tries to get past the stricken McLaren, who now has to try and let his teammate by. And the spray here, I must say, is utterly appalling. Cars all over the road going 2, 3 wide, even 4 wide at the front. We saw at the front of the race. They're 3 wide going through this corner. And now a short blast to the next one, and my goodness. It's absolute chaos. And that's Sam Stolford, who's now lost his front wing. Richard Giotto is running in the points. We just got to kill the AI. There we go. So it's Samuel Gradin. Oh my goodness. So it's Samuel Gradin who's leading the way at the perfect time. Sam Stopford's lost his front wing, and how has this happened then? Has he lost it with Giotto here? Oh, it's even before. He's following Aaron Curtis, who's lost his rear wing, and he's just going to ram into the back of the Jordan and lose his front wing, and gets a hit from behind from Giotto for good measure. But Giotto's made a very aggressive and good start, but that is probably the best first lap of the entire season. Samuel Gradin and Louis Zech at the front here, Alex Toogood in 3rd place, and Giotto in 4th, although that is going to be under investigation, I'm sure, for Alex Toogood. As we run through turn number 3 now, Giotto, imagine if the Jaguar gets a podium as we have Louis Zech making a move on Gradin. And Louis H going to the inside in the BAR. He initially pulls ahead, but Granin gets a really good exit out of the corner, and Samuel Granin retakes the lead. How is that for you, Seresnia?
Well, I don't know if you can even hear me, but if you can, then that's great. It's a pretty chaotic lap here. I had to mute myself so I wouldn't interrupt James. It's a great battle now. Sage goes running outside of Granin now.
Oh,
Too
that's
good.
too good. Where's Too Good come from? He's overtaken, and Giotto are suddenly in this battle for second place. Giotto goes up the inside, and Giotto takes third place but runs wide, so it's going to go down to his teammate Kubasek, who instead gets into third place. So the Jaguar, and now up to fourth comes Giotto. He can pull that one off, and he has. So Jaguar running third and fourth at the start of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Something on that car is just clicking here in.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you. We can
okay,
hear you.
Good,
the two Jaguars have all of a sudden bolted off and into third and fourth. But look at the slipstream effect here for the Ferrari of Alex Tuga. Does he think of a move to the inside? No, he doesn't, because he's got Caribo for company. And now Caribo fancies a move down the inside. Too Good falling down the order. But what is this? Since when were there so many midfield cars running at the front? The top two have bolted a little bit, but the two Jaguars third and fourth.
I mean, back in the old days of MMS, Jaguars have managed to score a win in Interlagos, so I think this pace is back in here. Interlagos.
And you can tell Giotto is the faster driver here. He's harassing the back of his teammate, but he doesn't want to hit him. Imagine if those two made contact. Thomas McHugh, he's in this championship fight, but at the moment, he's not going to win the championship. At the moment, if Samuel Granin wins this race and QBO does not score any points, Granin will be world champion.
Oh, that's
there's a front wing gone on Martins in the Benetton. Wait, he's pitted. What?
Oh, that's a drive-through.
He's had a drive-through penalty for
something
of the rules.
QBO
all the way at the back, and the leaders are at the Junsao corner, the last braking zone on the circuit. Granin all four wheels off the track there. Be careful there, Sonny Jim, as he runs wide. And now tucks into the slipstream of the Lucky Strike BAR of Luis H, the replacement for Michael Torres, who himself had a slightly underwhelming season. And Granin in the slipstream, but doesn't seem to be able to make anything work so far. Goes to the inside. They have a little bit of a rub of wheels. But Granin stays in second position.
Raku's coming back in this
is now
race.
down to 7th position. So what's happened to him?
I think he's just slow.
A problem? Thomas McHugh's got past him now, so he's going really slowly.
I mean, mind you, this is tricky conditions. Look at the spray from the cars. It's very hard to see anything, especially when you put it into the driver's view.
And this is more like it from Rodney Rakus. We're more used to seeing him at the front. He had a pretty bad start, to be honest.
I mean, look at Caribou. The man started from 14th, so...
Great start for him, and Sage is not pulling away from Samuel Granin at all, and they're being caught by Giotto. Giotto's within half a second of these guys. I apologise for my illness.
Yeah, I'm ill as well, so we can be the duo of ill commentators. Giotto extends the track. Uh-oh, that's a warning.
Oh, Giotto's run wide as well on the exit of that corner.
You know, it's a bit of an advantage for the drivers to go a bit wide, you know.
Again, Samuel Granin really in the slipstream with Luis H, but is he too much in the slipstream, so he's losing the speed? Maybe it doesn't seem it. He's pulling to the left-hand side, to the inside. They make contact, and Samuel Granin gets past with excessive usage of the curb as well. Luis H drops down to second, and Samuel Granin moves into a championship-winning position as on board with Alex Toogood. And look at the pace of the Ferrari engine there. Catching Richard Giotto going in towards turn 4. He almost hits the back of him, but he manages to escape any contact there. As we are on board with Thomas McHugh, who flipped at turn 1. Amazingly did not lose any of his car though, and he's running in 7th position with Giotto, who is in 4th position, very much in his sights, and even Alex Toogood in 3rd, very much in his sights.
Basically, McHugh needs to overtake Granin.
Caribo's got past Giotto. Sorry to cut you off there, but Caribo's now got past Giotto as well as Alex Toogood.
Zech has got past Granin as well.
So Caribo is in 4th position in the Sauber. As here goes Giotto being overtaken by Rakus and by McHugh. So Giotto's doing what his teammate did and just falling through the order as the lap goes on.
I mean,
and Kubasek now is on the back of his teammate.
I mean, Jaguar is just a tier 2 team, but yeah, I didn't expect much from them.
Sauber in that respect, but then you have to look at Sauber. They're also a tier 2 team, and look at what Caribo has been able to do so far this race. And he's making He's not. No, he's not making a move. My bad. He looked like he was fainting to the inside, so I thought he was maybe trying to pass another car. But no, these guys are kind of spreading out a little bit now. The top two still have a fairly decent gap to all but Alex Toogood, who's managed to catch them now. Samuel Grant and Louis H.
I mean, Sauber in the preseason testing, I believe in their first session it rained, and Valjak got second. So I think that just shows that Sauber have a really good car in case of rain.
Sauber do have a good car in the rain. Although we have learned that pre-season testing was not very not very accurate.
Yeah.
Not very reliable. Very nice. Yes, very nice word. It's a lovely. This is my apologies for the voice crack. It's the first one of the day for those keeping count at home. There's a lovely overhead shot here of the track because you can see so much of it. It's really tightly packed, this circuit. As Gradon again excessively using the wide line going into the corner at Junsao, and now as they climb this hill, it's completely blind. It doesn't look it, but as a driver, it's completely blind over the crest of the hill. Famous crash there in 2003 when Mark Webber and Fernando Alonso shunted into the walls. Alonso almost killing himself in the process. As here comes Alex Toogood. Oh my goodness. Gradon moved over aggressively as well to cover it off. Very late move from Samuel Gradon. I don't think he's going to be able to do that again. And look how close those guys are. Thomas McEwen and Rodney Rackers are pretty close as well, as they also jump over the curbs at turn 3. But at the front, those three are all within half a second of each other. Alex Toogood is overtaking Samuel Gradon here on the inside of turn 4. But Gradon, brilliant traction around the outside, and Samuel Gradon holds on to second place.
I mean, mind you, McHugh is going for the title as well, so...
He is thinking of the title, exactly. In this position right now, I'll have to check if he's going to win it or not, but it's certainly advantage. Samuel Gradon, there's an opportunistic move, and he does hit him. He hits into the back of Louis H.
How is that front wing still there?
The front wing is still on the car as, again, contact. This time Alex Toogood trying to get past it. He runs off the track onto the grass, and that's going to allow Louis H to pull away a little bit. As a back-up ball with Thomas McEwen, you can see just visibly, just from the spray, how much he and Rodney Rackers have caught the front runners on this lap. They've caught by like a second or something ridiculous, just because they went side by side through a couple of corners and banging wheels. And Giotto is in the pits.
And Silva's in the pits.
Giotto is running so well for Jaguar. He's lost his rear wing with somebody.
We have missed quite a lot of incidents this race.
We have, yes. It's been absolutely chaotic. There's a car running wide. That's chauffeur. But that was him trying to get back past
I think we... Giotto got... Okay.
So he's side by side of his teammate. Voda goes past, Silva hits him. And that is into the almost into the barriers for the pair of them. And onto the grass goes the Jaguar with his arm very much in his face. And I don't know what he's doing at this point, but...
He's doing a Kimi Räikkönen.
That is his race run. And he makes contact with Patrick and Jones coming back onto the circuit as well, just for good measure.
Do you remember...
So if I look at the championship results, is 11 points behind Kuba Jankowski and 3 points behind Thomas McHugh. So if Gradon finishes in fourth or above, and Kuba does not score any points, he is the champion. But of course, you have to factor in Thomas McHugh, who's running in 5th position right now. But at the moment, Samuel Gradon will take the lead of the championship, and Thomas McHugh will also leapfrog Kuba, who will drop down to 3rd.
Yeah, because if I'm correct, McHugh has a 3-point lead over Gradon in the standings.
He does have a 3-point lead.
And at the moment, he's only P5. Which
is the difference between finishing 2nd and finishing 3rd, and the same for finishing 3rd and 4th. It's a 3-point difference, but once you clear there, it's more 2-point differences. Here's a move from Samuel Gradon into the double right-hander. You never see overtakes there. The most memorable one, Fernando Alonso in 2011 around the outside, but that was an anomaly. And he's up the inside again. Gradon is so aggressive at the start of this race, but he's got to be careful. Just on the last lap, we saw them lose a bunch of time. Gradon on the outside of Sage, they make contact. Sage runs wide, rejoins the track, almost hits his teammate. Rackers takes 3rd, Sage down to 4th, and Toogood and Gradon were pretty close, and now Rackers is trying to take 2nd place away from the Ferrari. And it's all kicked off here, the top 5 now within a second of each other. So there's a replay on board with Louis H on his rear. We love this kind of camera angle here. He makes contact with Gradon, and I think he just hits too much curb and runs out wide. Almost takes out his teammate in the process, but he was mindful of him as he rejoined the circuit. But
look at Zage, he still has the slipstream. He's still in the fight.
And it shows it's just one mistake can set you so far back, but he's still within the... These guys are all so close together. Rakus almost makes contact with his teammate again as they run down towards the first corner. Tuga goes to the inside, and he makes contact, and he hits the back of the Williams of Samuel Grannon. Miraculously, the rear wing stays on the Williams and the front wing on the Ferrari, as Kubasek is trying to make a move on Thomas McHugh, who himself is trying to out-traction Rodney Rakus around the outside, going through the flat turn 3, and at the front they're still not cleared up, as Tuga again fancies it to the inside, and again loses out, this time to Louis H. And Kubasek is going to overtake Thomas McHugh for 5th place as well. That's terrible for McHugh's championship hopes. He's now got another car he has to pass. That was chaotic, but that is what we love about Interlagos. Oh, right wide, Kubasek, it runs wide, and he's going to lose a place there. He's a baller, Kubasek. This is a great camera angle with all the battles going on.
You can see how much Jaguar has traction, and they use it in the rain perfectly.
Yes, but now going through this corner, this is a really difficult corner. Not just getting the car turned in, but you can use a few different gears, and he just makes I think it was just a mistake on the traction there.
Yep.
It looked like he was going to lose the back end.
Sorry for this camera, I cannot fix it.
Yeah, no worries. And now, is that the Sauber of Carivo who's caught up to the back of these guys?
No,
well,
it's
John Voda. Who else? Who else but John Voda in the Prost?
John Voda, the legend.
Time and time again from the 40. I think he's 47 years old.
Yeah, he is.
From the 47-year-old, we see it time and time again as he just carves his way through the field in that Prost. He's up into 7th place already and has the leaders in his sight. That's a very early pull out of the slipstream from Louis H on Samuel Grannon. The Williams is really seeming to be struggling in a straight line, but Sage is not close enough for a move. Everyone's single file through these first few corners, and I would like to see where Cubio is right now, because he is very relevant in this championship fight, but until these guys
he is 21st.
He's running in 21st position,
he's
actually behind all the McLaren. He's behind Smith, he's behind Silva, he's behind everyone who's been involved in incidents, as it's all kicking off at the front here. I apologise that we had to move away. There's Raku's moving up into 3rd place to make it another double BAR podium. Too Good locks up, going into the corner.
Too Good is getting pushed around.
They bang wheels. Thomas McHugh now driving around the outside, as is Jakub Kubasek, although he's not quite able to get past us. McHugh fancies Raku's now. McHugh down the inside of Rodney Rakus, and he takes 3rd place. So 2 overtakes in the span of 2 corners from Thomas McHugh. Fantastic stuff from him. Fantastic for his championship as well. And as it stands right now, Thomas McHugh has 3 wins this season. I believe Samuel Gradin has 3 wins as well. So it would go down to the most 2nd places, which again they are tied, and then it would go down to the most 3rd places. So Thomas McHugh has the 1 3rd place this season, Gradin does not. So if Gradin finishes 2nd and Thomas McHugh wins 3rd, sorry, if Gradin finishes 2nd and Thomas McHugh finishes in 3rd and Cubio scores no points, Thomas McHugh would be the champion on the countback for 3rd places.
Now, wouldn't that be a very interesting way to end the season? Now, Zage down the inside.
Zage on the inside of Gradin, as I was saying about Gradin, cannot afford now to fall down into 2nd place, especially if McHugh then manages to get past, and it's all going to come down to the pit stop phase again. We're on lap 11 of 28 here, still 17 more to go after this one, as excessive use of the curbing from Sage. There is a lot of curbing on this track, because there is so much time to be found on the insides and outsides of these corners. I mean, Zerezna, you've driven around this track plenty of times. How deadly can the curbs be in the wet?
They're like soap on rainy days. You just go on them too aggressively, step on the throttle with the rear end, you're gone. You can fly off into the barriers, skid across the grass. Everything can happen once you use the curbs too much. But if you're lucky enough...
Thomas McHugh is really onto the back of these guys now. He's cleared Alex Tugud. He's put a 1-second buffer between him. Tugud's got Kubasek to worry about. Kubasek goes to the inside. Sage also moves to the inside. No contact. Tugud defends the position again. No contact. All good to see. Fastest lap currently, Mihail Valyak in the Sauber with a 1:11.7.
I mean, Valyak isn't almost clean there, so I don't blame him now.
McHugh also 1:11.7 as we go up the inside. Louis H on Granny, but he loses out, and Thomas McHugh sweeps around the outside into 2nd position. and he is actually in a championship losing position, but if he can get past Gradin here, he won't be. But Gradin, brilliant stuff around the outside, brilliant respect from both of them to not run into each other. McHugh is still trying to get past the Williams, and he dives down the inside
contact.
into this low left-hander, but he's going to lose the traction now, and through goes Louis Zaich, as you were exclamating about Seresnia there, and he loses a place to Alex Tugud, but Tugud run wide, and now here comes Kubasek going around the outside, and that's the second time this race that Jakob Kubasek has pulled off a move on the outside there. It's not complete yet, though. Thomas McHugh is trying to get back past, and Thomas McHugh is just seeing this championship slip away from him as the two leaders get away. Voice crack number 2 for those counting at home. As back onto the front straight come Louis H and Simon Grannon. Look in the background. These guys, they're going 2-3 wide going into turn 1. Louis H down the inside. They bang wheels, they're 3 wide. McHugh makes contact with Kubasek in more than one way. McHugh cuts the corner. And Tugud gets past. McHugh runs wide and might lose a place to Rakus here. Absolutely hectic stuff here on lap 13 of the Brazilian Grand Prix. Absolutely insane stuff. Tugud defending the inside. McHugh swipes around the outside of Rodney Rakus for the second lap running. Absolutely insane. And the spray is really not helping matters for these drivers, because if they make a mistake, they can't see what if they can't see what they're doing, they're going to make a mistake and they're going to lose their front or rear wing, or worse, their wheel. But Samuel Gradin is doing a great job in defending the race lead.
I mean, this just shows how crazy MMS can be, because, you know, imagine this, you know, you tune into a race, you've seen the previous one, you know that VAR is kind of good, you see Gradin in the lead, and then you have Sage, and then you have Kubusek, and you wonder to yourself, how did that happen? Anyways, I think it just shows that Jaguar have mastered the car for the rainy conditions of Brazil. They were already projected, I believe at pre-season testing we are like alarmed that Brazil might be a rainy race, and I think Jaguar noted that and prepared their car for only one race.
It must have done, yes, because they've come here with the most upgraded package, it seems. I mean, John Voda's running nicely in 7th. Giotto losing his front wing. There's a move from Aaron Curtis. He's a lap down.
This
is the battle for 10th place. And the arrows of Alex Jones momentarily moves into a points position. But look at Ronnie Chauffeur in the Minardi. Unbelievable drive through turn 3. And Ronnie Chauffeur now takes 10th place for Minardi. Absolutely astonishing move from him. Here comes Alex Jones back. The fantastic battle for 10th place between the two minnow teams. Look at this from Ronnie Chauffeur. He just finds the gap and puts his car. He puts his car through the hole there. My goodness, that is fantastic stuff.
If you don't go for a gap that doesn't exist, you're no longer a racing driver.
My God, that was fantastic. As there is a move from the Ferrari of Kubi Jankowski, who's a lap down as well.
He's trying to lap himself.
Full lap down on these guys. He's not going to win this championship, surely.
I mean,
and if we cut further behind, we'll also see the stricken McLaren of Smith and Silver, and it's all kicking off at the front. Sage just run wide. Rakus with the widest, with a wider line than your fat grandma. No, that was a bit rude. I apologise. But anyway,
that was not a good one.
I didn't know what to say. Anyway, Alex Tugud on the inside of Kubasek. Not anymore. He's now on the inside of Thomas McHugh, and he's lost a position. Louis Sage has taken the lead as they run down towards turn 1. On the inside, Alex Tugud and Kubasek also fading into the inside contact between Tugud and Kubasek. Kubasek stayed ahead. The Jaguar in third place still. McHugh somehow doesn't get past Tugud, or does he? Because he's now on the outside. He's going to run wide at the first corner. And look at this on board to Thomas McHugh now with the spray. The rain is really coming down now. It's very heavy rain as McHugh goes to the inside and loses out.
Kubasek into P2.
He loses out to Rakus as Kubasek is into P2. Oh my God, the Jaguar is in second. Imagine if Jaguar wins this race. And now, Samuel Gradin is still in the championship winning position, but only
Kubasek
just
is a bit wide.
He moves back up into second place as Kubasek runs wide.
And
as you said.
yeah, I mean, Jaguar, this is just like in Season 1 back in the OG series.
Kubasek is driving the wheels off that car right now.
McHugh goes off.
Oh, McHugh's run wide. It gets worse for McHugh as not only is he dropped to the back of this train, he's now even further behind them. He's got to watch out for John Voda behind, because we know he can be fast in these kind of races. Anyway, we're on to lap 16, about to cross onto lap 16. Samuel Gradin in the slipstream of the BAR Honda. And my God, this is getting really, really tight at the front. It's a matter of do you lunge or do you stay behind? remember, Samuel Gradin right now has a championship to think about, but if McHugh manages to clear all the cars behind him in the space of a lap or two, he'll be ruining not getting back past. But he has got pressure from Jakob Kubicek right behind, who is within a tenth of a second and pulls out of the slipstream as Gradin does the same on the inside of Louis Sage. They both get a really bad run, and now not only is Sage and one BAR going to pull ahead, the other BAR of Rakus is all over the back of these two now. So it's really end-to-end, it's really topsy-turvy stuff. Gradin on the inside of Sage going into the next right-hander. Kubicek again running wide of that corner. Contact with Rakus. Rakus now on the outside of Kubicek, and Rakus is going to get that done, I think. Very nice move from him. Wow. I'm gonna lose my voice in a second as two cars run wide. Too good hits the back of another car, and Rakus also goes out wide. Great camera angle that, and look at John Voda. Voda is now within 2 seconds, having 2 laps ago been 5 seconds away. So John Voda is suddenly maybe a factor in this race.
I mean, at this stage, you know, whenever, for example, if Gradin crashes now, it's over.
If Gradin crashes now, advantage McHugh. McHugh just has to keep it nice and tidy, because Kubiakowski's not going to score any points.
Yeah, unless we have a 50 million car pileup the last lap, but I don't think that will happen. Meanwhile,
my God, this championship so far though it's just been like this. You don't know who's going to win till the very last lap as Gradin sends one.
It doesn't quite work into turn 3, does it, or turn 4?
It just doesn't work at turn 4, no. And then you lose the traction through turn 5, and we've seen Thomas McHugh pull moves around the outside of turn 5 as well.
Speaking of McHugh,
it's possible for overtaking. Speaking of McHugh, up the inside, doesn't get the place. Or does he? Rakus has run really, really wide of that corner. Thomas McHugh back on the outside and sweeps past before they even have to consider leaving each other room through that corner. McHugh up back into 4th place.
Gradin a bit wide. Oh, and that's Caravo.
Oh, it's wide. That's Caravo running wide from 8th position. Does he lose out to his teammate? No, his teammate's 7 seconds behind, so he's fine in that window as John Voda has now caught up to the back of the Ferrari of Alex Toogood.
I mean, the whole... I mean, Zauber was a kind of disappointment this season, but now you cannot say that.
Shout out to Kubicek, who's been running in 3rd for I think 5 laps in a row now, but back to the front. Samuel Gradin is on the inside of Louis Zage, and he has got past him this time. Samuel Gradin retakes the lead. He needs to bridge the gap. He needs to... Sorry, not bridge the gap. He needs to extend the gap. He needs to destroy the bridge so that Louis Sage cannot catch up to him. As Rakus is making a move on Thomas McHugh. That's for 4th position, but again, we've seen the inside line just doesn't work through that corner.
Meanwhile, Kubicek is seriously onto Louis Sage. I think the Brit is losing ground.
If Kubicek has a quick pit stop, he could win this, you know. If Jakob Kubicek's pit stop is on point, we haven't really taken note of Django's pit stop because we never had to. They've never been really running at the front.
Yeah, they weren't, you know, relevant to the series.
Maybe the front end of the midfield, but not the front. Right now, Kubicek's in 3rd. His teammate Giotto initially led the Jaguar charge, but eventually had contact with Helio Silva at the double right-handers at turns 6 and 7. So that ended all hope there.
You know, just jumping on the camera, sync for action, but I think this is the main course of action we have to watch.
Sage just had a terrible exit. Sage just had an absolutely terrible exit. If we could, we can look to the battle for 10th, because that was pretty intense. But right now, we're focusing on Jakob Kubicek and Louis Sage, because Kubicek is right tucked in the rear wing of the BAR. Does he pull to the inside?
No, he doesn't. But there's a wild John Voda.
Voda making a move on Toogood. The 47-year-old Prost driver is trying to move out into 6th place, which would equal his best finish of the season, which was in Austria, but he's not going to do it, as Louis Sage has gone from defending against one car on one corner to overtaking one on the next. Sage up the inside, and I think he might actually have pulled that one off as Thomas McHugh sends at the inside of Kubicek, but Kubicek gets a great drive, and Kubicek is surely going to hold on to that
is squeezed out of the circuit. And there's Rakus. He's going to have to, you know, lift off into here. You don't really want to make that move.
Yeah, once these battles are done, let's have a look back to the bottom end of the top 10, because surely they'll be coming into view soon, the way these guys are battling so much.
Meanwhile, 10 laps to go.
3rd place back at the front. Sage just trying to get his lead back. Rakus sends one, and they make contact, and around goes Rakus. Stugan and John Voda are also gone.
What?
And you could see it coming. You could see the chaos happening. John Voda was running in 7th position. It would have been 6th, but he's now lost his front wing. Rakus went for the inside on an ever-closing gap, and as you were saying, if you don't go for a gap, you're not a racing driver, but if you go for a stupid gap, then you are a stupid person.
I said that if you accelerate on the curbs, you're just going to lose it.
He's accelerated on the curb. He's been squeezed into them by Kubicek, who did not expect to move. McHugh keeps his front wing somehow, but
Too Good
Too Good's not so
doesn't.
lucky, and Voda is rather accelerated into.
Well, that's
by
P2 for Ferrari in the constructors over. Actually, no, because Too Good now may get an advantage over the guys who will not pit.
Well, I mean, he's in the pits now with no front wing. He'll have lost about 10-15 seconds in that aspect.
Sage is pitting.
This is pretty much the changeover point. Sage is coming in the pits this lap, and you got to feel for John Voda. He would have been in P6, and I think it looked like Rodney Raku's rather accelerated into him rather than vice versa. Voda was trying to just casually go around the outside, but Raku stepped on the power.
There was no communication, you know.
In that kind of moment, you're facing the wrong way. You can see everybody passing you. You want to get back going, but at the same time, you have to respect your rivals. And look at the gap now between Gradin and McHugh's just got past Kubasek. You can see it on the graphic on the right. The gap is now 6 seconds, and as it stands in the championship now, Thomas McHugh's going to win it, as Carivo is now in the top 5. This is incredible stuff. Making that the top 4. He's just overtaken Kubasek around the outside, going into Junkao.
And now Gradin.
So we know Louis just going. Oh no! Oh no!
Oh dearie
Louis
me!
H was pitting. Louis H we knew was pitting, but Samuel Gradin clearly didn't, because he's just rammed into the back of him.
I say that's Gradin's fault, I mean.
A brain fart moment there from Samuel Gradin. Did the team not radio him to say that Sage was pitting because he's nicely tucked in the slipstream, and bam! Yeah. Straight into the back of the BAR.
That's mostly on him, I mean.
And he can't pit, his team aren't ready. He cannot pit, he's going to have to come in on this lap.
I don't think he will lose much though. I mean,
he's going to have to drive an entire lap without a front wing where downforce is as critical as ever in the wet weather, and that means that Thomas McHugh is now in a championship winning position. Would you believe
in the pits, Kubusek, Raku's. Meanwhile, Sage's pit stop is
long.
Sage's
pit stop? It's over 10 seconds, it's over 12 seconds, and now he's going to have to wait for Carragher. He's away after 14 seconds.
I mean, they had to fix it. They had to fix his, suspension damage, because he definitely has some, so...
Yes, indeed. So Thomas McHugh will have surely, or he might have even seen it himself, he'll have surely received news of the mishap of Louis H. And he's now potentially in a championship winning position. Helio Silva, having lost his front wing, is in 9th. I think he still has to pit though.
Smith in the pits. Oh, Shepard has retired.
Oh, Chauffeur has lost a wheel.
This is the first
incident of wheel loss this entire season. So what's happened here?
Downey and son of Callison.
He's made contact with his teammate, I think. And it's the same thing with Raku's. And what's happened here? He's got on the power, and where is he going?
Kimi Räikkönen. Oh.
Ronnie Chauffeur has just had the biggest brain fart I think I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, that's a wheel loss. Congratulations, you get the clown award. Meanwhile, Gradin is not pitting.
He's not pitting. He has to pit. Samuel Gradin surely has to pit.
They are going to wave the flag very soon.
He's been called by Thomas McHugh, but he's not. He doesn't seem to be pitting. We're not being told that he's coming into the pits this lap, and he's not. Samuel Gradin has stayed out.
Is that a strategic masterstroke for Williams?
Is this a strategic master? Is this a strategy to try and hold up Thomas McHugh?
Meanwhile, that's almost a move from Kubusek.
That is a huge set of cars coming in. Carivo, Kubasek, and Raku's, they all get slowed down in time, but as I mentioned in the intro, the ominous clouds look certain to drench the circuit, and they really have. It hasn't stopped raining since lights out. Watch as I say that now that it's going to stop raining in like 2 seconds.
Nah, it will not stop raining. This is a
like
full wet race.
For Raku's and Carivo.
Carivo 10 seconds.
Carivo 10 seconds exactly, having to wait as well. Not too bad from the Jaguar, but Raku's is going to jump ahead of Kubasek. Oh, not quite.
But Raku's was a man of honor. He gave the position, so that's very...
That was... Oh, they've hit each other in the pit lane. Guys, please, we don't need to see this again.
Oh.
Oh, no! What did I just say?
Oh,
well, there goes any chance of a podium for Kubasek and any chance of a podium for Raku's.
Kubasek angry that
The man who's been so impressive this season has just, again, I mentioned it, there's 2 turns coming out of this pit lane that you have to brake for. The first one and the second one. I mentioned on the first one, keep it calm, lads.
Kubasek on emotions.
Alex Too Good is in 5th position, having lost his front wing. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I said that Ferrari may get a strategic masterstroke, and then they might have just done that.
So McHugh pits. Gradin is actually right. Gradin. No, don't tell me he stayed out.
No,
Oh, no, he
he's in,
hasn't,
he's
okay.
in. He would have
So
run out of
Gradin,
fuel.
if they could change that front wing quickly, he might still be able to
Jankowski in
jump
the
ahead of
pits.
McHugh. Jankowski is a lap down. Curtis is also a lap down.
13.
13
He's gonna jump
seconds. It's
Gradin.
quicker than Gradin, though.
And he
Quicker than
might...
Samuel Gradin, who is still in his box. Through goes Louis Zage now, so let's see what Sage can do. As he comes out of the pits, McHugh exiting the pits now, Sage will be on his right-hand side. Be careful with Aaron Curtis.
They
Those
were
guys
careful.
behave better. And Louis Zage is going to take the lead of the Grand Prix. Yes, he is. There he is, miles ahead.
Miles.
As there is Helio Silva in 3rd position. And I think that might be legitimate. Meanwhile, Silva's teammate Curtis is trying to get past.
Yeah,
I don't know what Silva's doing with
just
that
bit
kind
it.
of line,
Silva
but
just bit it, I think.
Silva's come out in 3rd position.
Wait, what's happening here? I do not understand.
Everything has just turned on its head. We've now got a battle for 9th position going on with Rakus. Voda is back into the points in 10th. Jones is trying to get past. And let's see a bit further back what the situation is. A little bit further back, running wide Patrick.
Patrick, he's going to get around
Stockford
the
in the
outside.
background. He is 4th position.
Agnes Martins is pitting
Martins,
normally.
Callison and Smith right behind.
Kabusek.
Kubusek is in the pits, having
Giotto.
lost the wing. So both Jaguars in the end receiving damage at some point, and now it's all kind of spread out. And as it stands right now, Thomas McHugh will be the MMS Season 1 champion for McLaren. As it stands, though.
Yeah.
But what a title throwaway it's been from Kuba Jankowski, it has to be said.
The man just didn't think about it, I think.
The man had like a 40-point gap with 3 rounds to go, and it looks like that's going to be not just equal, but over par.
He got race banned,
overwhelmed.
and since the race ban, it's been all going down for Cubio.
Everything's gone wrong for him indeed. Love this camera angle here. I must say the McLaren Mercedes steering wheel is my favourite steering wheel on the grid.
Yeah, it's one of the more funky ones. I really
not
like
that anyone cares, but I mean, I'll just point it out.
You know, I'm not supposed to give my opinion, but...
Meanwhile, Mihail Valyak is running in 5th position for Sauber, so while one Sauber drops
Rakus,
out, the other takes it as
fastest lap.
Rakus has set the fastest lap.
That's a fun fact for all
So
of
these
you.
guys are on wet weather tyres. Imagine if the track dries up.
Oh, I don't think it will. This is Brazil.
Will, but imagine if it did, and we have the showdown of our lifetime. But what a race this has been, and it's still not over yet. McHugh looks certain to win the championship, but he could still throw it away here with Louis Zage. And betting on what Rakus and Gradin have previously done, and the fact that Zage has already been involved in an incident with one championship contender, you wouldn't bet against it, would you?
I mean, now
McHugh and Louis Zage
McHugh...
go through the center S's into turn 3 now.
Is he gonna win the title with a style?
Is he gonna take his 4th race win on and become the only man to do so as well? He's currently a level. Oh my goodness, that was close. He's currently level with Kuba Jankowski and Samuel Gradin on 3 victories each. But if he could get one more, he would become the only man to score 4 or more wins this season.
And that's
as it stands, Alex Tugud would also surpass James Smith in the championship for 6th in the standings. Both of them have had pretty atrocious seasons, I think we have to admit.
I mean, Smith was majorly destroyed by strategy. Ooh, Zage goes a bit wide.
Whoa! Sage has made a mistake and McHugh takes the lead! Thomas McHugh, when it already looked like he was set to take the championship, has taken the lead of the Brazilian Grand Prix here at the Autodromo Jose Carlos Pache.
And now for 3 laps to go.
If he can pull away now, there is nothing stopping him from winning the championship. There are 3 laps to go.
Now.
Here as McHugh crosses the line. He seems to have only one more car that can maybe disrupt...
Wait, Silva is spitting.
Oh no.
Oh, so they didn't make a strategic master stroke.
No, so Silva did not... Yeah, Silva's not in 3rd place, so Tugud will move up into 3rd.
But he may get a penalty.
Will move up into 4th.
Well,
and that means Sauber will have both cars in the top 5 and will become...
Mind you, Tugud may get a penalty after what he's done coming into turn 1. So...
He may get a penalty, yeah, but then the same might apply for... The same will probably apply for Smith as well, but Tugud... essentially somersaulting McHugh to the back of the grid at turn 1. It doesn't look good for him. It looked pretty aggressive. I mean, McHugh didn't change his line. He was all the way to the right-hand side of the circuit. He did nothing wrong, I think.
Yeah, he was just rammed.
It was all too good. I mean, Smith will probably get a penalty for the QBO incident, but it's not going to affect either of their races. They're both
Speaking of too good, here he is. chasing down his teammate, who is lapped.
And he's been watching his teammate all season picking up the wins, and now he's played the Uno reverse card because Kubica Jankowski in the last 3 races has picked up only 10 points, including this one. So if he stays where he is now, in the last 3 races he'll have picked up 10 points. If you compare that to his first 3 races, he picked up a total of 55 points from his first 3 races, but his last 3, just the 10. I'm including the race ban. If I take the Austrian Grand Prix, would make it 18, but you get my point.
Yeah, meanwhile Zage, he's been overtaken by Curtis. Curtis is going to unlap
falling
himself.
away from Thomas McHugh. Curtis has some pace in the Jordan. Can he, mate? If he takes out Thomas McHugh, oh my god, I'm gonna sell my children on eBay.
James, I mean, I am getting a lot of flashbacks to Brazil's season 1 of MMS, the OG series. Raikes was leading the race, and a wild Murs Soresnian, not associated with me at all, who was lapped in a Minardi, crashed out the race. No, it was a Sauber, and he crashed out the race leader, who was Raikes.
I mean, look at Aaron Curtis. Curtis is now in the slipstream of Thomas McHugh. He's within half a second of him. That's very powerful. He's got a very nice pocket of air to work with as they run down the straight.
Gradin.
Samuel Gradin is back up into 5th place though, but he's only got 2 laps to go off this. He's going to need McHugh to battle so hard that he loses at least 10 seconds, I think.
That's Giotto in the pits.
Wait, no, there's only 1 lap to go. My bad. Only 1 lap to go. Giotto is in the pits.
Oh, that's a normal pit stop, okay.
Don't know why, okay.
Kubusek.
My bad, we are on the final lap, it seems. We are on the final.
Yeah, we are.
Thomas McHugh, and Curtis goes to the inside of the race leader, but Aaron Curtis is not going to get in his way. He was too far back, and we know the inside line is inferior through that corner, as Carragher and Valyak look extremely close. Valyak has now lost out, not just to Carragher, but to Carragher as well, so he's down to 7th position.
Still.
And suddenly Carragher in the Prost, it looks like he might be able to get past Carragher.
And there he is.
And he has! Just as I say it, Carragher moves himself up into 5th place, which might become 4th if we see penalties for cars ahead. So Carragher in the Prost is going to take Prost's best finish of the season. But back to the front, Sage and Tuga the side by side. But I think we should cut to Thomas McHugh here because he's had some rocky moments the whole of this season. But Thomas McHugh now is rounding the final corner, and you are watching Thomas McHugh cross the line
title
to be crowned champion of MMS Season 1. What an achievement for him, the champion of Season 1. He's been the most consistent driver the second half of the season. He's bounced back from many poor results. And my words, give this man a round of applause. Fantastic season all round from him. Louis H picks up another very impressive points finish in his
I mean, he finished P5 last
driver.
race. He finished P5 last race, now he finished P2.
And Alex Tugud finishes an unconfirmed P3 because I'm sure the stewards are going to look into the Turn 1 incident, and I'm pretty sure he's going to receive a
Gradin P4.
penalty. Gradin takes P4, so Gradin moves up to 2nd in the championship, but he will be gutted because he was leading the race or in the fight for the lead, and he crashed into the back of Louis H. And give a round of applause to Marco Carragher.
Caravu, Valyak, I mean, these guys.
A double points finish for not only Sauber, also for Prost, because John Voda recovered from the loss of front wing to finish in 9th.
I mean,
Great job from him.
Caravu, Carragher, and Valyak, very good mates, on the paddock. I think they were going to be happy with the results.
And I am also very pleased to announce Williams as the Constructors' Champions of Season 1. Congratulations
and also,
to them as well.
We might see, if I'm correct, McLaren might have jumped Ferrari for P2.
They may well have. Too Good has some good points.
Ben Patrick has scored points for Benetton, bless this man.
Ben Patrick has taken 10th place for Benetton.
Again, he did it again, what a man.
Smith taking 12th, he'll probably get a penalty though. Agnes in...
Silver, Callison in 14th.
Where did Chauffeur end up? Because Chauffeur
he crashed out.
he retired. Yeah, he retired, my bad. Because Chauffeur was running really well at one point.
Yeah.
But I mean, how was that season for you overall, Soresnia? I thought that was an absolutely brilliant season, to be honest.
You know what? I really enjoyed this season. It was full of action, surprise wins, podiums. I mean, you had the French Grand Prix in honor of, rest in peace, Antoine Hubert, which turned out to be one of the greats of the season. You had the title fight that we thought that QBO was going to easily win the title.
I was convinced QBO
Yeah,
was just going to walk
same
it.
with
He just had to
me.
be careful. You just have to be careful in the last few races, but
And he
he didn't
wasn't
do that.
careful. He was not careful, indeed. And yeah, this season ended on a beautiful way. 11 points separating the top three. Anything can happen, and oh boy, anything did happen. Turn one.
That's the
That was
unpredictability of racing in general. That's why we love it.
driver of the day. I mean,
Driver of the day, I would say I would give 3 nominees. Thomas McHugh for getting shunted at turn 1. He had a couple of mistakes here and there, but he controlled it once he got in the lead. Marco Caragol and Gaetan Caravo. Caravo started 14th, may I add. Brilliant job from both of them. I'd probably give it to Marco Caragol. Why not? In the Prost.
I mean, yeah. For ninth position gain, that's quite a lot, especially.
And now, since we're at the end of it, who was your driver of the season?
Oh boy, driver of the season. I'd say Rakus and now Louis Age. Louis Age, despite being only in 2 rounds, he has proved himself that he has a lot of pace. I mean,
You know who my driver of the season is?
and
Isaac for sure. What a legend.
The man, the myth, the legend.
2 DNSs because he almost killed himself at Suzuka, a race ban, and eventually a season ban. So bravo to Isaac for sure for a brilliant season.
Everybody salute this man. Salute Isaac for sure.
But no, in all honesty, I'd probably give... You know what? Yeah, I'll give it to Ronnie Rackers as well. Why not?
Yeah, Rakus, he entered the midway through this season to replace O'Hara. And oh boy, he seriously proved himself. He showed a lot of pace, he showed good results, and he was consistent with them. He showed that pretty much he brought BAR to where they are right now.
Yes, exactly. But anyway, we thank you all, spectators, FIA, everybody, and in particular Seresnia for running this. We thank you all for a fantastic and thrilling season 1, which has now come to an end. We hope to see, and I sincerely say this, we hope to see you next season, because if the season's anything like this one, I think we're all going to very much enjoy it. It's been a pleasure to commentate these races alongside whoever else is in the box with me. So with both happiness and sadness, I say farewell season 1. Bring on season 2.
Farewell season 1. Now, guys, this is coming from me, the owner. Thank you for staying in the league, for giving me ideas, giving me ways to shape the league. This is one of my most proud moments as a league owner, to have this kind of championship battle finish in such a beautiful way, and I am proudly going to say that MMS is going to live on for quite a long time. I'm looking very, very forward to season 2, as we have some interesting changes, quite creative ideas, and most importantly, great racing in store for you. Thank you for being in the league, and see you next time. Remember to wear your seatbelt and be safe on the roads for the last time this season. Bye bye.
Bye bye.